So check it out. I'm often asked, how do I manage my schedule, do real estate, run my family, and everything that goes in between? So today, we're going to talk about the perfect schedule for real estate agents that want life balance and a 7-figure income. Come join us. Nothing works if you don't have that first portion dedicated for you. The first part of your day has to be for you, LLC. That's the spot where you're gonna make sure that you spend some time with your creator, you're going to do some yoga, you're gonna make sure you fed yourself right, you've done your gratitude book. Man, I found that most top performers, most CEOs, entrepreneurs start their day journaling. If you haven't looked into journaling, get yourself a gratitude book and just write down some things that you're positive about. Things that are and it can be like, mine are kind of silly sometimes. I'll wake up in the morning and the first thing I'll write down is like, I'm really grateful for the 3 windows in my room that actually woke me up this morning. I'm grateful for something I did last night with my wife. I'm grateful for the fact that my kids fell asleep on time. I'm grateful for anything I can just kind of stack inside my heart and just kind of make my day great. Remember this, if you don't have anything good in here, you're not going to send anything good out there. So you got to start yourself with at least a 15-30-minute ritual every single morning. So here's mine. I kind of brush my teeth and I start singing a song. And this is going to sound silly, but I learned this at some Tony Robbins event. It sounds something like this. Every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. And it's a long song. You can look it up on YouTube. But I do that while I'm jumping up and down, making my lymph nodes start moving, getting my heart going. I start doing push-ups. I currently do about 100 push-ups every single morning. I used to start off doing 10 push-ups, 10 reps. Now I can do about 100 push-ups all in one shot, something to go for. But you gotta spend some time getting your heart going, getting your mind going. You know, if you need to caffeinate up and have, some time with yourself while you read a good book, whatever it is that's gonna help you start your day strong, let's make sure that we get that. Now you're gonna say, hey Gil, my day starts off with chaos. My kids, they wake up and they're like, mommy, daddy, blah, 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 blah. Well, you need to get up earlier, right? And they're like, I need to get my beauty sleep. I love this one. Arnold Schwarzenegger said this best. If you need 8 hours, sleep faster. Do it in 6 hours. Whatever it takes for you, go to bed earlier, but you gotta make sure, if you wanna be a 6, 7, or 8-figure producer, you've gotta spend some time every single morning working on you before you can help anybody else. So beyond that, we believe that your day should be broken up with the top 3 C's, right? Connect, cultivate, and close. Every realtor can do this, right? And if you're only good at one of these, it's okay. 2 of them will make you a rock star. 3 of these, and you have an empire, right? So connect, cultivate, close. Everybody's good at one of them. Maybe you're good at connecting with friends. Maybe you're good at cultivating relationships. Maybe you're just a closer, right? Get 2 of those, you're a rock star. 3, you build your empire. So let's start our day every single day. And I usually tell people in our coaching, it's between 8 and 12 is your prime hours to connect with people. At that time, most people are doing the happy dance. They just dropped their kids off from school. They got that coffee that they're on their way to work and stuff like that. And they've got some time in between to make some calls and things of that nature. And that's a prime time to give someone a call. So if you are thinking about building a business and you don't have prospecting as your first priority after you, plan on working at Walmart or Haagen-Dazs next year, because you must make prospecting a strong part of your day. At least 4 hours a day. Now here's what happens. When you're a top producer, you still prospect. It changes. Maybe you're not calling leads, or maybe you're not calling FISBOs, stuff like that, but you're still prospecting, checking on relations, making sure people are doing well, making sure that they're moving from one space to the next. Our job as a real estate professional is to be a servant leader. And we can't serve what we don't know. So make sure you're connecting with people and I tell people, as a newer agent, there's no reason why 4 hours a day you can't build your business by prospecting. Now let's talk about the goal while you're prospecting. The number one thing that you're doing while you're prospecting is make an appointment. You've got to make an appointment for a coffee shop meeting, for lunch. Hey, I'll see you at the ball game, whatever. But just make an appointment. Bring somebody from an idea to a physical space. Bring somebody from where they're at right now to where they want to go, And right now they're in their cubicle, maybe they're at home, like they'd love the opportunity, hey, let's go get some coffee together. Let's talk about what your dreams are. Just out of curiosity, how many people are asking you, hey, what's your dream? How can I help you? Nobody's upset with you when you make the call. Hey, I just really want to help you get your goals. So make sure that you're that person for somebody. When they pick up the phone from you, they know a friend is calling that's interested in helping them grow financially. Maybe they're in a situation where they're unhappy and they just need to move on. Like, be that person that helps people. So from 8 to 12, you gotta connect with human beings. You can never waste time doing that. So I would tell you is build a ritual. Now here's what I teach people in my coaching services. 10-15 by 10-15. And by the way, I've never seen anybody fail following the system, right? So you're gonna call people by 10:15 a.m. with the purpose of making an appointment. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna set your watch for every night at for every day at 10:15 in the morning, at night to ring. By 10:15 p.m., you should have a list of 10 people that you're gonna call, right? And you're gonna call them in the morning. So 10:15 at night, you set your list, 10:15 in the morning, you've called that list and you've called to set an appointment. And guess what? If you make 2 to 3 appointments per week out of those, 50 to 100 calls you make Monday through Friday, if you're making those calls 50 to 100, you should be able to get 2 to 3 appointments per week from that, where you're gonna find out what's happening in their lives. You're gonna go through the W's, the who, what, where's, and why's, right? Tell me more about that. I saw this on Facebook. Oh, that was cool. Johnny won the soccer game. That's great. And you're gonna just have a sit-down conversation. By the way, here's a pro tip. Every time I sit down with some coffee, I buy the coffee and I ask the barista to make it super hot, right? I want it extra hot, and here's why. Because if that coffee's too cold, the conversation goes fast. But the first time they put that coffee and they put it up and they realize it's so hot, the coffee sits down. We just have a conversation while the coffee cools, and it buys you a little extra time. I've been doing it for years. Make the appointments, get to know people, find out what their goals are. Always find out, like, hey, when the ball dropped this year, what were you wishing for? And then what's gonna happen is they're gonna ask you about your goals, right? And you say, hey, my goal is to help 20 to 30 families find the gift of homeownership, build their wealth, financial freedom, and I'm just looking for people that might be falling in love, or maybe not so much, or maybe they're having a baby, or maybe they join an upside or downside, or whatever's happening. Find the path to home ownership. That's all we're trying to do. So connect, 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 which leads me to part 2, cultivate. So cultivate relationships, that's something that takes a little bit of practice, right? You gotta be really good at questions. And most people aren't good at this because when you got in real estate, you thought you were supposed to do this. I'm the best, right? No, that's not gonna work. You gotta learn how to cultivate the relationship and bring people across that bridge, right? From where they're at to where they wanna go. We've talked about this before. So we're gonna find out where people are on that track. How can I help, right? There's only 3 reasons why people don't buy and sell. Here they are. Number 1, they're scared. Number 2, they don't have the money. And number 3, they don't have the credit. All you've got to do is build a system and follow up with them, right? So you didn't have the money, well, maybe I can help you with some down payment assistance. Maybe we need to talk about putting a savings plan. Maybe we need to talk about what things we need to negotiate to get some, to get rid of maybe your cable bill or whatever, so we can save some money so we have a down payment. If it was credit, you probably have a local person in your market that can help them with credit, right? And build a relationship with them and follow up and, hey, how's that going? Did you get that thing done? Blah, 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 blah. And then if it's just fear, this is what I tell my kids when they're scared. Let's just turn the lights on. Let's illuminate with the fear of what are we scared of, right? And here's one great negotiation tool you can use in that process. If they're scared of something, just ask them, hey, if I could eliminate that fear, if I could do something about that, would you move forward, right? So it's the old, if I can do X, would you do Y? No matter what they say, right? So let's just say, hey, Gil, I want a house, but I don't want to do any repair. So if I can get you a house that you never have to do repair in ever, would you buy a home this year, right? And I don't know if I can do that. It doesn't matter. Your point is ask the question. Let's see if we can figure it out together as a team, right? So the reality is that when you start asking those questions, well, maybe a condo might be right for you, where you don't have to worry about putting on a roof or painting the outside or even the lawn maintenance. So if you can put them in a position where that fear is no longer there by turning on the lights and really looking at the fear, you can solve that problem. So cultivation is all about just going through and continuing the relationship and not just being a great first date. And too many realtors are great first day. They put on the pin on put their badge on, and they go out there and they do a big show, but then that's it. They sizzle. And then another agent comes in and picks up the work and then takes them to closing. So let's talk about closing now. So it's connect, cultivate, close. Hope you're still with me. Here's the deal. This is probably the most important thing. You gotta ask for the business. But it's real easy when you continue to add value all the way through, right? Where you now understand who they are. You know what they like, what they don't like. And by the way, what they don't like is probably the most important part, right? Knowing whether they like palm trees or oak trees, whether they like a garage in the front of the house, the back house. Hey, just when you close your eyes and you're looking at your perfect property, what does that look like? I just want to be able to close my eyes with you and see what that looks like, right? Tell me what that feels like, what's around it. Too many agents waste their time talking about, how many bedrooms, how much square footage and things of that nature. And truly, those aren't the most important things for a consumer. They're looking for a feeling. So if you don't know the feeling that they're going to get, it's going to be very difficult to close them. I've never seen an agent close somebody saying, well, you need to sign here because this house has 14,744 square feet, and you told me you wanted something between 14,770 and 14,775. That's never going to get somebody to sign the line. So if you've cultivated the relationship properly and you understand that the reason why they're really moving is Jimmy's in a school and he's getting bullied, and the reason why they want to make a move is to put them in an area where they feel safer, when you've got them in that spot, you can make the close. Tony Robbins talks about it all the time. People aren't going to make a move until they have leverage. Once you've got leverage, the game's over. It's how a smoker who's been smoking for 50 years looks at their daughter and says, you know what? I want to live longer. I want to be there for my daughter. And all of a sudden, they take all their cigarettes and they throw them away and they change their behavior. There was enough leverage. He loved his daughter enough to make that change. You got to find that emotional piece of leverage so you can close a deal. Without that, you're going to be what I call an AFA, an average, let's just say, frustrated agent. Replace the F if you want to. But an average frustrated agent goes out there and he meets people and they pound their chest and they tell them why they're great, and then they don't have a reason to close. They can't move somebody through that process because, let's face it, it's not that easy. They're going to fill out tons of applications for mortgage loans, and they have to move money and things of that nature. And they used to like their place and now they don't. You got to have a why that you can lean on to get the leverage to make somebody make a move. So those are the ways that you build the perfect schedule. So let's go through them one more time, and then I'm going to give you some bonus content, right? You got to spend some time with you, right? You, LLC, is the most important part of your day. The second part is reach out for new opportunities. That's where you're going to connect with, 4 hours in the beginning, right? But at least 10 good, solid conversations. And you're going to follow up with them 15 times with emails and value. Once you find out what they're interested in, send them some information. Hey, I saw this information about surfing. Here you go, right? And then you're going to go in there and you're going to start closing some opportunities by reminding them of the things that you connected and cultivated to make them make the decision today. So here's some other things that need to be part of your schedule. If you want to be a top producer and you want to have your empire, this is super, super important. As you start getting busier, you're going to need some help, right? And one of the first things I always recommend is getting yourself a transaction coordinator, getting someone that can help you in your business. So this way, between 5, 6, 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., you can be present in your home. One of the most frustrating thing I see is with newer agents who are doing like 1 deal a month or 2 deals a month, and they're writing contracts while the little Jimmy's, eating his dinner. That's not what you want to be. So let's just stop that right now. Let's make sure that when we close our business between 4 and 6, and again, here are those times. 8 to 12 we connect, 12 to 4 we cultivate, 4 to 6 we close our business. We close our business. Well, that means that's where we're going back, responding to the title companies, we're responding to the mortgage company, we're responding to the surveys, inspectors. What you don't want to be is that agent. This is exactly what you don't want to be. You don't want to be that agent that wakes up and he grinds out his eyes, wakes up and he's on Facebook and he's on Instagram and he's going in there and he's letting all of these emails guide their day. You have to be intentional about your business. So make sure you connect, cultivate, and close. And let's talk more about that calendar. You want to have a love life, you want to have balance, make sure that your significant other and your kids are on your calendar. My wife and I use lovecations. We try to take about 6 to 12 lovecations per year. And it's just times, it don't only have to be a trip to like Antarctica or something crazy. It's a day or two out at a local beach or something of that nature. We're going to spend some time off the grid and we're going to spend some time just for us on purpose. Make sure you don't have this happen to you, where you're looking at your calendar and your kid's looking over your shoulder and they're seeing everybody's name but theirs. That hurts. So when you start filling out your calendar, make sure you've got spots for them and make sure that you've got your business set up so you can connect, cultivate, and close, and you will be able to build a 6, 7, 8-figure business. For more tips like this, make sure you subscribe. We'll bring out the best content. I don't hold anything back. I'm gonna keep putting out videos until you're at the top. Don't forget, you were born to be great. So take some action and get the results.